But I can tell you that, as you can see from these images here, they are more than passionate about their team.
in 4 days' time. Morocco and Tunisia have already qualified from the CAF region. 9 spots available this year with that extended format for the new World Cup, plus a potential 10th as well. The 4 second-place teams here go into playoffs, and then they will go into the inter-confederation playoffs against teams from another region. So there could be plenty of games to go for one or two of these teams that do finish in second spot in the group. Both sides have made quite a few changes to their lineups tonight, as there is a relatively new man in charge of Guinea-Bissau, Eliminiano Tay, who replaced Luis Boamorte. There are the Guinea-Bissau players just down below. Sorry, Mane is their captain. These sides are 17 points apart in the FIFA rankings. 147 Ethiopia, 130 Guinea-Bissau, who have climbed the rankings when you consider just 15 years ago they were down just inside the top 200. Has been a slight improvement for them over the years, but they still rank behind a lot of the African nations: Nigeria, Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco. Of course, Morocco will host the World Cup following the next one. That new national stadium, looking forward to hosting some big international matches in the future. Most of the Guinea-Bissau players play outside the country, so they are into their domestic leagues, most of them, or a lot of them, playing in Europe. Ethiopia's league doesn't get underway for another 10 days or so. A new format this year in the Ethiopian League, a 20-team Premier League. The majority of these players are Ethiopian-based. Ethiopian Insurance, one of the big clubs here. So it was a good win for them last time out, Guinea-Bissau. They beat Djibouti by 2-0 in Bene and Kande, getting the goals in the second half. Disappointing, really, along the way for Ethiopia. 2 defeats in their last 2 matches against Egypt and Sierra Leone. They haven't managed to score in their last 2 games. They did beat Djibouti by 6-1. It was their standout result, really, in the group stage. Their only win so far. A couple of hat-tricks in that as well. Desta and Nasir both getting hat-tricks in that one. Two other games in the group. No games kicking off at the same time as this one. A little bit later, Djibouti taking on Egypt and Sierra Leone playing Burkina Faso. Final 3 games in the group will be on Sunday. And of course, probably disappointingly, and more disappointingly maybe for both these sides rather than the World Cup, is that they've both failed to qualify for the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations, which will kick off in December, run through into January. So they will be spectators while the rest of Africa looks on at their Confederation tournament. It's a campaign that started for these teams 2 years ago, and the quest for both tonight is to try and make it and finish with a little bit of pride. Ethiopia are winning to just play for pride tonight. One win so far. Guinea-Bissau, as we said, could still mathematically finish second, but they need things around them from other teams to do them a favour. First of all, we will have the two teams' national anthems.
Mesdames et messieurs, avant le début du match, veuillez vous lever pour écouter et honorer les hymnes nationaux de 10 nations. Tout d'abord, l'hymne national de la Guinée-Bissau. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem of Ethiopia. Et maintenant, l'hymne national de l'Éthiopie.
But now. For those that are here respecting the national anthems from both teams. Sorry, Mane will lead his team along that Ethiopian line. It's very much, you feel, planning for the future, some of these teams as well, with relatively new coaches in charge. Messe Teferi has been in charge of Ethiopia for just a year now, coming up to 12 months. Here are the two team lineups. As we say, Ethiopia have made one or two changes tonight. Changing goal with Frugeta Hunt coming in. Ahmed Rashid Habibu and Kennedy Kebede both getting into the starting lineup tonight as well, as they look to finish with a win. Wansha Tut on the bench is one of 4 new caps in the Ethiopian squad for this match. Gabriel Selassie is one of the players that dropped out of the starting lineup, having started the last match. Jelly Alfred Shavani is the referee tonight. All the officials from South Africa for this match. Sharifa is the Ethiopian captain. And 1 or 2 changes for Guinea-Bissau as well. It's pretty much the same back four. Manuel Balde in goal, Fally Kande, Mane along the back three. But most interestingly tonight, look out for the number 9, Normanto Betuchal, or Beto as he's better known, the Everton striker, plays in the Premier League, has already scored in the Premier League this season, making just a 9th start for Guinea-Bissau tonight. It is a side with a lot of Portuguese roots, of course. A lot of these players started their careers in Portugal, so they all play, the Guinea-Bissau players, outside the country. Last team talk from the captain, Haydar Sharifa. Well, the chances of Guinea-Bissau making it into second place are slim, but football can be a funny game at times, especially in what is almost a knockout scenario, if you like, at the moment. That's a very strange kickoff from Ethiopia, just kicking the ball straight into the Guinea-Bissau half. It was almost like a rugby-style kickoff, going for the touchline. Good chance for 1 or 2 of the new faces as well on display for Ethiopia tonight to try and make a name for themselves in the national side. So Egypt currently top the group, unbeaten at the moment. It's been a really good run for the Egyptians actually in all their international matches. 20 points from their 8 games. Burkina Faso currently occupies second spot, 15, then Sierra Leone. Those two play each other later. What a game that could be in the quest for second spot. And that's why it doesn't bode so well for Guinea-Bissau really in this one. Well, Ethiopia looking to make a relatively positive start. Aiton through the middle for them. Kebede trying to play that ball down the line, but Marciano was there just to get that ball away. Let's say to Ferry, as we say, been in charge since November 24. It's a long qualifying campaign, of course, for World Cups. The qualifying started 2023, just after the Qatar World Cup. They haven't played too many matches in this calendar year, Ethiopia. They did have a little trip to Washington in August to play DC United in a friendly, which they won 3-0. That was pushed out wide by Nito. Only failed to score in one of their qualifying matches, Guinea-Bissau. It's too high for Marciano. The referee's not happy about something. It was a throw-in that Nanu was trying to take. There is Beto, the Everton striker. Emiliano Tay, the man who recently took over after Luis Boamorte decided to step down after their AFCON qualifying hopes failed, or faded away, should I say. Was the assistant coach formerly, so he knows the national setup pretty well. Worked under Bakiro Kande, as assistant coach at the 2021 AFCON. He's unbeaten in his first 2 matches against Sierra Leone and Djibouti, a draw against Sierra Leone. Good spin by Beto, just trying to hold off the challenge of James. It's a lovely ball in behind the Ethiopian defence, but not such a good ball across. Getahun falls on the ball. Well, there were 2 players forward there. That was a good-looking ball forward. It's hit the defender, Mane, the captain, and gone behind, or gone out rather, for another throw. Away by Balde, but not very far away by Balde. Almost comes for Gezigan, trying to weave his way through. Managed to get past Balde, the goalkeeper, but again Mane was there as the covering defender. Half a chance for Ethiopia. It was Kabede with a throw. Give it away though. Nahaga. Long ball out wide, looking for Elves Balde, but too much on it. Here's that chance again a moment or so ago. It was a poor clearance by the goalkeeper that really put his side back under pressure. Gezahagen turning away from Kande. Wasn't the best back pass in the world to the goalkeeper. Dealt with it as best he could, but they were just a little bit at 6s and 7s there. It was a lovely piece of footwork to leave Kande on his backside. Couldn't apply the finish though. It's Desta back to his goalkeeper. Dalcio. Straight to Desta. Kabede forward to Gezigan once again. Ethiopia moving the ball around nicely at the moment. This is good play. Aiton might try his luck from here. It's not too far away either. Good positive start from Ethiopia. Biniyam Aiton hasn't scored an international goal. Hasn't played an international game since October last year, back in the squad under the new coach. I say relatively new coach. He's been in charge a year now, but by international standards, that's relatively new. Sharifa. That looked like a handball from Rashid, and the referee agrees. It will be a free kick. So it'll be interesting to see, with Guinea-Bissau players all playing regular league football, albeit a handful of games for their respective clubs at the moment. Whether they're just that little bit match sharper than the Ethiopians, who are into their pre-season at the moment. It's just gone out of play, I think. Good effort from Dalcio to try and keep that one in, but just beat him into touch. So one or two top places in groups could be finalised tonight. We've mentioned Egypt in this group. Could be a big night for Cape Verde as well, who could book their first ever place in a World Cup finals with a win tonight. They take on Libya. Algeria need a win over Somalia as well. Good stuff. Guess again. Desta. Push wide by Volde. Kabede. Good chance again for Desta to get the ball across. Didn't really have much pace on it. The clearance hits Kande square in the face. So Kande just feeling the effects, I think, of that, but seems to be okay. Fally Kande. That's nice footwork again from Kabede. Quite a good pace to the game at the moment, opening 10.5 minutes. Only real chance was that shot from Desta. Kamara. Marciano. Managed to get the cross in Marciano. I think that flicked off Beto. Rodriguez won't keep the ball in play. It's gone for a goal kick. As we said, a lot of these Guinea-Bissau players play in Europe. Rodriguez there plays at Yverdon in Switzerland. One or two wayward passes from both sides at the moment at times. Ethiopia's best performance in attempting to qualify for a World Cup came in qualifying for 2014 in Brazil. Managed to get through to the third round of qualifying, having beaten Somalia over on aggregate to beat the group stage. Lost to Nigeria over 2 legs in the third round. Guinea-Bissau have only once made it past the first round of qualifying. That was in 2022 when they beat Sao Tome and Principe. Finished second in their group. They were a massive 12 points behind Morocco, and their points tally not good enough to qualify as one of the best second place teams for the last World Cup. Guess again, lovely ball. Desta, angle was a bit tight. Still, it's not cleared. Rodriguez eventually showing a good touch inside the penalty area. Bereket Desta's shown one or two nice touches in the penalty area already. They did score a hat-trick in that win over Djibouti back in March. Keen to add to his international tally. Nito. Release that one quickly. There'll be a free kick. Clumsy from Guess again. Renato Nahaga, the man who just felt that the ankles clipped there. Here's that chance again a moment or so ago. Nice interchange of passes, lovely run from Desta to stay on side. Balde almost caused his defenders a few problems because he pushed that one straight back into play, but Rodriguez showed a cool head. Anyway, at the other end, Guinea-Bissau with a free kick. That's too long for Mane. Wasted opportunity, really, having got the big men forward. So both these sides disappointed not to be taking part in the Africa Cup of Nations. 2021 was the last time Ethiopia were in the finals, having missed out on the last two. Our former winners back in the 60s. Guinea-Bissau had appeared in the last 4 editions, but never made it past the group stage. Valde. Yusuf. Goal scoring has been a bit of a problem for Ethiopia. If you take that Djibouti game out of the equation, they only have scored in 2 of their 8 qualifying matches, failed to score in the opening 3 games. Probably shows you where the root of their problems have laid this season, or this qualifying campaign rather. That's Desta winning his side a corner, or going out off Dalcio. Desta with the corner. Way over hit though. This should be kept alive rather. Gezahagen wasted again. So both sides really have wasted a good couple of set-piece chances that they've had. That's good play up again by Dalcio. Does like to get forward when he gets the chance, Dalcio. Throw-in taken quickly. Ethiopia managed to regroup. Free kick goes Ethiopia's way. They're lining up in a 4-2-3-1 Ethiopia, it would appear. Sherefa and Valde are the 2 holding midfielders in there. It's very stop-start at the moment. Neither side really able to get any rhythm going in terms of passing. Nice ball played through to Balde. Defender went to ground early and got away with that. Or just managed to pull his arm out of the way. Well, they're claiming Ethiopia that should have been a foul. Overuse of the arm maybe, but South African referee not giving anything, just giving the corner, which will be taken by Elves Balde. Four players around the penalty spot. Did score a great headed goal from a corner in the last match against Djibouti. It was Kande that got on the end of it to make it 2-0. Nobody able to get the touch that time. Marciano didn't really get over that one at all. It was another wasted set piece, really. Aiton. Desta's outside him. It's not a great ball, it's in behind Desta, but he straight into an offside position anyway. Aiton, who is playing more as a striker today, he normally plays more as an attacking midfielder, but he is pushed in a slightly more advanced role tonight for Ethiopia. Desta was only just marginal. Goalkeeper's missed it. Good clearance off the line. Getahun came and didn't clear that with any great conviction. Kamara. It was Rashid, I think, who was the covering defender. Might have been James, actually. We'll see in a moment, but Guinea-Bissau trying to keep a little bit of pressure on here. Dalcio's forward again, out wide. There's too much on that, though. Well, through Getahun came and didn't really claim that one. Again, he's another player that hasn't played internationally for a while. His last appearance came back in March 24. Completely missed the punch. Fortunately, he was helped out on the line. Sides did play out a 0-0 draw when they met earlier on in the campaign back in June last year. That's actually the only game that Guinea-Bissau have failed to score in their qualifying campaign so far. Marciano. Good defending. James got his body across and did well there, Ramkel James. Ethiopia coming forward at the other end. Oh, big appeals from one or two of those Ethiopian fans. Well, the substitutes were up as well. I'm not too sure there was much contact. I think knew he was coming. Aiton. Away by Mane. He was the man who made that challenge. Very quick to tell the Ethiopian player to get back to his feet. Not sure, it may have been Gugsa cutting in from that far side, but referee had a good view. No penalty. Easy for Rodriguez. Gugsa trying to keep him under a little bit of pressure. I think that ball just went out of play on the far side. It will be a throw into Guinea-Bissau. Half chances, that's all we've had really so far. Nothing really clear-cut. We almost saw a goal from an error by Getahun, the Ethiopian goalkeeper, but he managed to have a covering defender, and a shout for a penalty a moment or so ago from Ethiopia as well, which was turned down. Is Beto. Good ball out wide again, Dalcio. That's a poor cross, needed some quality there. Beto had made his way into the middle. Another free kick. Falan and Gaha. First start in a while tonight for Renato and Haga. Did come on in the last two matches, but getting the nod from the start tonight for Guinea-Bissau. Foul by Elves Balde. Well, he did name a squad of 40 players initially for these two matches. Emiliano Tay, he's narrowed it down to 26 for the moment. So he's had a good chance to have a look at some of the players maybe that he didn't really get a look at in the first two matches. Probably hence the number of changes that he's made tonight as well. He has signed a one-year deal with the option of an extension after that, depending on how things go. See how his side defend this free kick. That's a dangerous ball in. And you put a bit of quality on the ball, and it invariably leads to a goal. And it is the opening goal of the game as Ethiopia take the lead. Well, we've been crying out for a quality ball into the box, and that angle was perfect for the free kick. It's Ramkel James that got the final touch on it, the Ethiopian Buna centre-back. First international goal for Ramkel James. Doesn't get many, he scored 3 times in the Ethiopian Premier League last season. But this was brilliant. The quality on that ball in from Yusuf. And James, just with the faintest of touches, got ahead of his man Mane, and well, that is as good a goal as you'll see from a set piece. Really, really good finish from Ethiopia to put themselves in front. Now, Ethiopia could still finish above Guinea-Bissau in the final standings, depending on the final results. If they were to win tonight, they would go on to 9 points, just a point behind their opponents. As we said, they can't make it into second spot because that's Burkina Faso, who are currently on 15 points. On ball forward looking for Dalcio, who got forward but gives a thumbs up for the pass, but it was just too far ahead of him. Ramkel James has started the last 9 international matches since making his debut against Guinea back in October. Here's Beto. Just trying to lay that one off. Valde was back on defensive duty. That is his role, of course, as one of those defensive midfielders. There's a little tug back, which will be a free kick to Ethiopia. Well, almost you feel that's a sigh of relief for those Ethiopian fans as well, having drawn a blank in their last 2 matches against Egypt and Sierra Leone. Ramadan Youssef with that wonderful free kick. He is the most capped player in this Ethiopian squad, making his 44th international appearance tonight. Yeah, I just wonder whether, if James hadn't got a slight touch on that, whether that might not have gone in anyway. It's one of those free kicks that's really difficult for goalkeepers to judge. And he managed to get that whip on the ball and the pace into that corridor between the central defenders and the goalkeeper, but James just helped it on its way. And another chance here from a set piece on the opposite side this time. Not so much whip on that. Easy for Balde in goal this time. Haga, Dalcio just kept it in play, only gives it to Desta, who lost his footing. Now Nito, he's got men either side of him. Oh, he's just asking a little bit too much maybe there, Marciano. Lost their momentum slightly. That's a nice ball. Rodriguez trying to get on the end of it. Well defended by the Ethiopians. Oh, Elvis Balde, who switched sides with Marciano, was on this near side. He wanted that ball played into his path, and they opted to go the other way and just lost the momentum of that quick break. There's Kamara, Rodriguez, here they come again. Kamara. Kande just lost his footing slightly, but managed to recover. Well, it's good pressing from Ethiopia. And Haga still has possession. One or two players just slipping and sliding a little bit at the moment. Offside flag up against Beto. Has scored in the Premier League this season, scored against Wolves in a 3-2 win for Everton back in August. Another player that's only making a 9th international appearance, having made his debut back in October 24, just over 12 months ago since he made his debut. There's that give and go again, looking for Balde, but just lacking that little bit of quality and pace on the ball to put it into Balde's path. Good defending by Kabede. Dalcio's throw. Beto just trying to roll his man, Sherifa, but he stuck to his task well, the captain. That's good play again, almost finding a way through to Desta. They play some nice football at times, Ethiopia. There's a little bit of fluidity about the way they're playing the ball around. They've got that press as well on Guinea-Bissau, but visitors pressing forward again. He's gone for a goal kick. Marciano can't quite believe it hasn't gone in his favour, but it is a goal kick. Ethiopia were one of the big African sides back in the 50s and 60s. There's a lot of African sides were being founded around that sort of time. They did compete as one of a handful of nations in the first 3 editions of the Africa Cup of Nations. As we said, they were champions in the early 1960s. Prior to that, they'd been runners-up and third. But since the emergence of some of the big African nations, it's been really tough for them. Interesting as well to look at one or two of these groups and just see how they've shaped up. Group C is the tightest at the moment. Benin and South Africa both on 14 points with 2 games to play. This one's a little bit more clear-cut. Egypt can wrap their place up tonight, as we've mentioned. Guinea-Bissau need to get back into this if they want to keep their slim hopes of finishing second alive. Dalcio. Beto, again, just slipping. One or two players might be changing their footwear at half-time. Desta, nice little drop of the shoulder once again, pursued by Nito. Looking for the run of 18, just in behind him again, away by Balde. Kabede beaten in the air, but no direction on the header from Elves Balde. Rodriguez with a throw. Elvis Balde. Kabede did well, just forced him on the outside, the fullback. He's making his debut. Kennedy Kabede, one of those 4 new players in the Ethiopian squad tonight. That's good running by Yusuf. Good ball in. Desta! Full stretch, but couldn't get over the top of the ball, and it ends up going high over the top. But it's a lovely move from Ethiopia once again into getting behind that Guinea-Bissau defence. Well, Desta's probably done everything but score tonight. Timed his run to perfection once again. He was onside. Maybe he's a little bit surprised to see it come to him. Just in behind 18, who may have got the slightest of touches, but Desta underneath it once again. Just a bit of a break in play here. Players just coming across to take on some water. Ethiopia leading by a 1-0. Remkel James with a lovely flick header from a Yusuf free kick. Knock on the head, I think, is the problem. Gezegen, the man who just felt the knock in the back of the head. As we said, we are at a neutral venue in Rwanda, so not too many fans of either team are here. Ethiopia go on their troubles, as both teams do. Guinea-Bissau again on the road. for their final matches. Guinea-Bissau have the unenviable task of going to Egypt for their final game. Egypt's current run, they've already guaranteed themselves a top 2 finish. They would clinch top spot and qualification tonight with a win. They've not lost any of their last 22 competitive matches. 2-0 defeat against Ethiopia back in AFCON qualifying in 2022 just shows how dominant Egypt are at the moment in African football, along with the likes of Morocco and Tunisia. Kennedy Kabede again with the throw. It was Desta just trying to help it on its way. Hoisted forward again by Kabede. Chase on for Aiton, but it'll go comfortably through to Manuel Balde in the Guinea-Bissau goal. Inside the final 5 minutes of the first half. Ethiopia leading here, as you see, by a goal to nil. And this is what it means for the group. Not a lot at the moment. It just means Ethiopia go a little bit closer to Guinea-Bissau, just a point behind them. Egypt, Burkina Faso and Sierra Leone in the prime spots at the moment for qualification. Top team, as we said earlier, automatically go through. 4 second-place teams will play off against each other for a place in the Confederation, Inter-Confederation matches. Goalkeeper came flying out there, but Kabede took it upon himself to bring the ball away, and it's a poor ball given away though. Can Guinea-Bissau get themselves back into this before half-time? As we said, they've only failed to score in one qualifier. That was against Ethiopia when they drew 0-0. Kande. Kamara. Let me see, jink to outfox his man. There's too much on it again, though. That's just where they've been a little bit lacking tonight, Guinea-Bissau. That final ball into the danger areas has just let them down a little bit, and Kamara knows he put too much on that. Plays for Dundee United in Scotland. He actually spent most of his career in the UK. Played over 165 games for Crawley, 95 for Plymouth in the lower leagues in England. Now in Scotland with Dundee United. Came off Balde. Nito. And Haga just managing to keep possession. See how quickly Ethiopia, they were closing those spaces down at the moment. That's clearly something head coach Messe Tefera has told them tonight, to make sure they close those spaces, and they're doing it pretty well first half. This is where Guinea-Bissau have been at their most dangerous, when they use the width in the pitch. Rodriguez and Dalcio getting forward. Well played by Yusuf. Wasn't a great clearance though. Kande. Kamara. Everybody back behind the ball for Ethiopia. Balde chinks away from his man. That's a dangerous looking ball in. Good clearance by Rashid, as he, even though he was falling down when he cleared it, and that's too long again. You see Beto through the middle, just wanted at least to be able to get a chance on getting on the end of that, but Haga overhit the ball in again. I'm sure Ethiopia now will just want to get through to half-time with their lead intact. It is out of Guinea-Bissau's hands, as we said earlier on, as to whether they qualify or not. Even if they win their last 2 matches, it may not be good enough. But they've been at second best at times in the first half to Ethiopia, who've come out with a little bit more purpose in the game. Rodriguez may have just taken a knock there. Here's Dalcio. Not too much space up ahead of him at the moment. That was Elves Balde trying to feed the ball back inside him. Kamara. Nito goes wide again. Rodriguez. 2 minutes to be added at the end of the first half. That's a better ball inside. Needs a quality delivery from Kamara. Doesn't find it though. Blocked again by Kebede, who's been pretty solid on his debut so far. The right back. Did play in the Confederations Cup in September, Kebede, with his club Waliata Disha. They lost out on aggregate to Al Ittihad in that competition. So it is the prelude to the new Ethiopian League, which gets underway on the 18th of October. It's probably nice for the coach as well. He's been able to have a bit of extra time with his players without the constraints of a season having already started, as is the way for Guinea-Bissau. Most of the players wouldn't have been released by their clubs until last weekend after their respective league matches. There's too much on that again. It'll go through to Getahun. One last push maybe for another goal before half-time from the Ethiopians. Really good goal from Ramkel James from a brilliant free kick from Yusuf, the highlight of the first half, really. Probably the only real bit of quality that we've seen from either team. Referee thought long and hard about that before giving the free kick. Does eventually blow his whistle. I did well, Rashid. Just got across Beto. Well, there goes the half-time whistle. What a half for Ethiopia. One of their best halves, you would have thought, in this qualifying campaign this season. And it was Ramkel James with a lovely flick header from Yusuf's ball that was whipped in the free kick. Balde caught in two minds whether to come, whether to stay on his line, and in the end it just took a flick off the big central defender to put his side ahead just short of the half hour. Still a lot of work to do for Ethiopia if they want to clinch just their second win in this qualifying campaign in the group stage, but they're halfway there and they have a slender lead at the halfway point. At the break in Rwanda, it's Ethiopia 1, Guinea-Bissau 0.
Showmax is more than just chicken or beef. It's all you can eat anytime, anywhere you like, and at the price you like. That goes for
Welcome back. Ethiopia just making their way out for the second half. Guinea-Bissau have been out just a few minutes before them. Slender lead for the home team after that first 45 minutes. A really good set piece. Youssef with the whipped-in free kick with a bend on it, and the little flick from Michael James in front of Balde, the goalkeeper, just to guide the ball into the corner. And having drawn a blank in their last two matches, Ethiopia have themselves the lead here. And it would effectively end Guinea-Bissau's slim chances of going through. If they don't pick up a win tonight, Guinea-Bissau, then they can't finish second. And even if they win, they've still got a bit of ground to make up. They would be relying on other results helping them out in the other two games, which take place a little bit later. Djibouti against Egypt, Sierra Leone against Burkina Faso. That was Michael James there, just doing his boots up. Well, it's been a long campaign for these two teams, because they've had a dual attack really, because they've been trying to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations as well, which takes place a little later on this year. Neither was successful in getting through either. Guinea-Bissau all in white. A kick from left to right in the second half. What can we expect to see from them? We just got the feeling that Ethiopia were that little bit hungrier, that little bit keener to press and win those second balls in that first half. So both sides did win just one of their AFCON qualifying matches. Ethiopia finished bottom of the group behind DR Congo, Tanzania and Guinea, while Guinea-Bissau finished third in their group behind Mali and Mozambique. Did play a couple of friendlies in the summer as well, Guinea-Bissau, but lost both of those as well against Burundi and Gabon. So ultimately, Luis Boamorte deciding to step down. Rodriguez. There'll be a foul by Beto. It's a heavy challenge as well, which just turns out a little bit of a ticking off, I think, from the referee there. Nothing more than that. He put himself around a little bit in that first half, Beto. He's only got one international goal to his name so far. That was against Mozambique almost a year ago now. Well defended Rodriguez again. Youssef's throw. Came off Kamara. Rodriguez. Kamara, there's that press once again. Gezahegn coming forward. Is there a handball in there? Yes, there was. The referee again, just taking his time to taking what he saw. Desta with the arm raised as he came in. Beto on the chase once again. It's just about going to make its way through to Getahun. Rashid. Youssef. They've looked quite confident when they've been on the ball as well, Ethiopia. Been afraid to pass it around with a little bit of pace on it, but they've been pegged back in their own final third here. Beto on the chase again. Yusuf allowing that to run out of play. It'll be a throw-in, which will be quickly taken by Alves Balde. Marciano. Heavy touch again, allows Valde to win that loose ball back. Bounces through to get a hunting goal. Well, Guinea-Bissau players warming up. I wonder how long it'll be before we see changes from Emiliano Tay. There's Marciano. Beto had to stretch to get that one in. Manages to take it away from James as well. Gets the shot in. Good save, Getahun. Although he didn't catch it cleanly, he got enough on it to guide it away from goal. Well, that's the first time really we've seen Beto threaten. Back in play again, Rodriguez. Good chip into the box. Oh, Beto's header, what a chance. Well, he's jumped a little too early, if anything. And he's caught their header too early. Lovely ball in from Rodriguez, and Beto with two chances in quick succession to get his side back on level terms. There's the first one. Touch probably took him a bit wide. Goalkeeper just got enough on the touch. Well, that's what you expect from Beto. He just started his third season at Everton. 8 goals in the Premier League last season. And Rodriguez has just got to go back a little bit here with the throw. Almost finds its way to Rodriguez. Yusuf. Rashid did well there, just turned away from his man. He's quite an experienced central defender, Rashid. 30 years of age, he played 30 times in the league last season. Did pick up 10 yellow cards across the course of that season. So did serve a couple of suspensions, but internationally he settled in nicely alongside James at the back. James is relatively new to international football, just his 9th cap tonight. So he has played in the last 9 games. It's been pretty much all Guinea-Bissau at the start of the second half in terms of possession. Kamara. A long way from goal, but it wasn't too far away. Nito. Shooting from distance. It would have been some goal had he managed to keep that one down. One from Pacos Ferreira in Portugal. Desta. He's been the standout performer for Ethiopia so far tonight. Here he goes again, just holding off the challenge and still in possession. And eventually they win a corner. Well, that all came from the industry of Bereket Desta. He was unlucky not to find himself on the score sheet in the first half after that hat-trick in the 6-1 win over Djibouti. Cleared away by Kande. Dalcio trying to prevent the cross and wins the throw in off Desta. There's another foul by Beto this time, who's going to get the game's first yellow card. I was right in front of the assistant referee, and he's just saying to the ref, is that a yellow card? But it has been given. Yeah, better. Well, I think he just seemed to catch him with that trailing arm on the way down. Didn't seem too much in that. Certainly not really worthy of a yellow card. He did knock Kebede to the ground, but it just seemed a little harsh, the yellow card, to be fair. But Beto is in the book. Referee was very quick to go to his pocket. He was obviously quite clear in what he'd seen. Emiliano Tay unbeaten in his 2 matches in charge so far. Did play for Guinea-Bissau in his playing days, 5 appearances for the national team. He played mostly in Portugal, did have a spell in China at Yanbian. Looks as though we are going to see an Ethiopian change in a moment. I'm going to say Teferi giving out a few instructions. It will be a double change as well, it would appear. So approaching the hour mark. They've got a free kick here, though. Will we see a similar delivery to the one that brought us the goal? It's the same side. It's another good delivery. Mane just helps it on its way this time. And gets the second header in as well. Really is a dominant figure at the back, Mane, the captain. That was Volde coming across with a challenge that one or two in white felt was a little bit too heavy. It's gone unpunished, though. And a chance for Ethiopia once again to push forward. Good tackling back, and eventually Guinea-Bissau will get the free kick. There's Balde that went down. That was a good challenge. Took the ball cleanly. Valde, there was a little bit. Caught him standing leg. It's a question of how you see it, I suppose. He won the ball, but he did take a little bit of the man as well, but no harm done. Still 1-0 to Ethiopia, that first half goal from Remsel James. Hussein and Tariku are going to come on. Sharifa. Too close to the goalkeeper. Hoisted long again. We talked a lot about the quality of the balls into the box tonight. The exception being that free kick that led to the goal, of course. But apart from that, it's been pretty lean pickings for the strikers. That's a good ball into the corner, kept in by Balde. Rashid coming across to make the challenge. They are going to make the changes before the corner, which is somewhat unusual. Biniyam Aitan is coming off to be replaced by Ahmed Hussein. Plays for Adama Katama. Holding midfielder Bereket Volde coming off as well to be replaced by Yigasu Tariku. First international appearance for him. Was almost an ever-present in the Ethiopian Premier League last season. Hussein comes on up front to win just his second cap. Made his debut against Djibouti back in March. Balde's ball in. Fan Mane. No power direction on the header. Rodriguez. Well, caught it really well. Just got underneath it a little bit. Maybe he felt it took a slight deflection. There is one of those substitutes. Utagesu Tariku. One of a number of players that plays for Ethiopia Buna. That would have been some goal. We've seen a couple of really good strikes in this second half from Guinea-Bissau, but they still haven't managed to hit the target. Guinea-Bissau, it's a poor ball. I was just about to say that you would feel that the coach will certainly be feeling that their pressure should be leading to a little bit more than it's leading to at the moment. Nice. I just wonder how long it'll be before Emiliano Tay decides to try and freshen things up a little bit as well. So the way this game is going, if you didn't know the situation in the group, you'd think it was Ethiopia that it still had something to play for, because they've been the more industrious of the two teams in the 61.5 minutes we've played so far. Maybe Guinea-Bissau just not complacent, but just feeling that it's a game that they probably felt they should come here and win. As we said, 17 places between them in the FIFA rankings. But they're certainly having all the possession in the second half. Rodriguez. Inside by Kamara. Nito. Rodriguez trying to go through the defender. And that's credit to Ethiopia, the way they're just setting themselves up here, because they're not allowing those white shirts any space at all. They've restricted them to long-range shots. That's in towards Beto. Good header from Rashid. There's the press again. Hussein, who's gone into that central position that Aitan was occupying. It is two straight swaps, the substitutions. Tariku into the holding midfield role. And now a triple change. Well, we didn't take long to get the answer to that question. Ninte comes on. Gomez comes on as well. So Ninten, Gomez and Folgado Montero are the three players that have come off. Marciano and Kamara are two of the three that have gone off. Balde has also made way. So what difference will that make, I wonder, to the shape of Guinea-Bissau moving forward now? Rodriguez. It was back by Gomez. That's given away cheaply again, though. A chance for Ethiopia maybe to press forward. Hussein was looking for that to be played forward early. He just had to check his run to make sure he stayed on side, but the pass never came. Hussein, oh, hits the inside of the post. Really good chance for the substitute. Second shot in, comes back off Kande. And then a foul's given to relieve the pressure of Guinea-Bissau. Well, what a chance for the substitute. And he's only been on the field a few minutes, but he almost made a massive name for himself to double Ethiopia's lead then. Just timed his run perfectly. Looked as though he was going to come inside, and then all of a sudden just swung a right boot, with Kande not expecting that. There's a yellow card. And the second yellow card of the game. Well, that's the other substitute. Itagesu Tariku. So both substitutes getting involved in one way or another in the last few moments. Hussein nearly scoring. Tariku going into the book. Starting to liven up a little bit now. Free kick. Approaching the midway point of the second half. No addition to that half-time score. Still 1-0. Rodriguez will take the free kick. Flick towards Beto, but the goalkeeper has probably made a little bit more of that than perhaps he might have, but Beto with a strong challenge. There's another player down. It's all getting a bit stop-start. We had a little period in the first half when it was a little bit like this. So Rinkel James just having a few words with his goalkeeper. Was there an arm in there, I wonder? I don't think it was anything much. It was a good ball in by Rodriguez. Rashid, the man that went down. That ball just stayed in play. They were tussling away. They didn't all cross the line. The whole of the ball has to cross the line, of course, but it didn't on that occasion. Here come Ethiopia again. Despite the fact they haven't had much of the ball, they've been the more likely, or looked the more likely to get a second goal in this second half. Nice ball played on by Desta. Pushed away by Balde. Now Sharifa. Another free kick. Foul by Nito. Oh, wasted free kick. Well, they did so well with that one in the first half. I suppose the supporters and the rest of the team are looking for similar, but didn't come on that occasion. Yusuf's header. Another change coming up for Ethiopia. Desta, who's had a really good game tonight, the number 7, is going to be replaced by Kitika Jima. Desta has been a really hard worker tonight for his team, rightly getting the applause of those Ethiopian supporters. Kitika Jima is a player who's shown loads of promise over the years, 25 years of age now, but he really came to prominence back in 2018 when he was picked up by Ethiopian Buna, their under-20 team. That's spilled again by Getahun. Not for the first time tonight, he's not been convincing. What can they do with a long throw? Was there a handball? Big appeals. Time ticking away here from Guinea-Bissau. A reminder, if they don't win, then it ends their slim hopes of making it to a second place finish in the group. Even if they'd have won, as we mentioned earlier, that still might not have been enough depending on what happens elsewhere later. But they needed to get their part of the job done, and as yet, they're not doing that. Could be heading for a first defeat under Emiliano Tay. Good tackling back that time by Nito. Beto. Now what can they do? Substitutes will add a little bit of an extra dimension, the fresh legs. Rodriguez. That's too overhit once again, and another wasted opportunity. He's got forward on a number of occasions tonight. Mauro Rodriguez. Made his 100th Yverdon appearance a couple of games ago against Stade Lyonnais. Nice little landmark for him on a personal level. Say Ethiopia go to Burkina Faso for their final game. There's a possibility that Burkina Faso could well have secured second spot by the time they play that match. So might be a chance for Ethiopia to, if they can get a win here, build on that and finish with 2 wins in the group and potentially finish in 3rd place, which wouldn't be a bad position to finish in. Wouldn't be good enough, of course, to go through. Even the 2nd place team in the group might not get a place in that 4. It really depends on how the top 4 finish. It goes into a mini points league, if you like, between the 9 second place teams. They'll play each other over 2 legs, and the winners will go through to eventually leave you with 1 team, which will go into the Interconfederation playoffs. Rodriguez digs the cross out again, but just a little bit too much on it. Has been the story of 1 or 2 of those balls into the box from Rodriguez. Ninte was the man on the far side trying to get on the end of it. Ninte, who came on, by the way, he's making his first appearance for Guinea-Bissau, having been an unused sub against Djibouti back in September. Candace's won the free kick. Hassan's looked lively since coming on, hit the inside of the post. Wasn't in the squad for the last 2 games, but recalled for this match and the one against Burkina Faso. And Haga. Comfortably run through to get a hunting goal. Hasn't really seen much service tonight, Beto. You can see just body language looking a little frustrated at the moment. Mane. Rodriguez. Mane's ball in. There's a shot blocked it before it reached the goalkeeper. Good defending again. James. Well, the pressure all coming from Guinea-Bissau. But again, it's that final ball that's letting them down. Montero, the man that was frustrated that time with the ball just too far ahead of him. Mane. Ninto. Right the way across. Ninte, the substitute, is clearly looking for better in the middle. Rodriguez with a throw. All the way through to gets a hand in goal once again. Hasn't really been troubled in terms of having to make any meaningful saves, the goalkeeper. Sure, that's one thing that will disappoint the Guinea-Bissau coach. Rodriguez with the throw. Inside the final 10 minutes then. Ethiopia edging towards just a second win in the group. Just 6 points accumulated so far. Draws over Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau and Djibouti. And that big 6-1 win over the same opposition, Djibouti, back in March. Rodriguez, can he come up with a bit of quality? Everything's been a little bit overhit so far. Good defending again by Rashid. Rodriguez gives away the free kick and just shows a little bit of frustration after the ball had gone. It was something and nothing really. It's been that sort of night for Guinea-Bissau. I really don't think the touch was that heavy. There's a player down injured. Something happened off the ball, I think, there in the middle. Now the two number 13s really going at it. Rashid and Montero. Rashid's come off slightly the worst, so let's go for some treatment. Just wonder whether they might think about making a change at this late stage of the game. I've still got a couple of substitutions left to make. Ethiopia. Well, gets a hand in, no rush to get on with this. That might not appease Guinea-Bissau too much. And I think he is going to get a yellow card here for time wasting. Well, there's only so much referees will take in terms of time wasting. Of course, we do have the new rule now that when the goalkeeper has the ball in his hands, he has to release it within 8 seconds. Otherwise, it's a corner to the attacking side. I just wonder when they might start to penalise taking too long over free kicks like that with a similar punishment. Sure, that would stamp out the time wasting. Anyway, looks as though Ethiopia are going to make another change. Wancha Tut, he's about to come on for his first appearance. Well, it's gone for a corner. I'll say, despite having less of the possession in the second half, it is Ethiopia that went closest to scoring. It is Guinea-Bissau making another change. Linto is going off, and Jefferson Nkada is coming on. Well, almost the last throw of the dice, really, for Guinea-Bissau. Nice movement, good ball across by Dalcio. Flick on by Hussein, but it'll take it all the way through to Balde. Good ball hoisted into the area once again, a good header away. Good defending by Yusuf. Montero making a nuisance of himself. Rodriguez with the throw. Good movement off the ball by Nkada. Rodriguez. He's in behind everybody once again. Good block. Solid bank of green shirts, has really defended well, not just in the second half, but throughout the 90 minutes, really. More changes about to be made.
Substitution of Ethiopia, number 12 of the Serum
Yusuf is coming off. And it is a debut for Wancha Tut. And also coming on is Mohamed Abera Hirugo. Gugsa is the other man that's made way. Well, there'll still be a little bit more defensive work to do. Oh! Great opportunity for Nkada, and he's got right underneath it, and that's been the story of Guinea-Bissau in front of goal, really. Really good chance for Nkada to make a name for himself, and he skied it over the top. Making his 29th appearance for the national team, Jefferson Nkada still hasn't scored in that time. Rodriguez. Nkada. Nicely done by Rodriguez again, who showed good speed and good ability to get forward in the match. Dalcio down the other side as well, likewise. That's another poor ball. Nkada wanted that just played into him rather than going long towards Dalcio on that far side. That's slightly overhit. Kabede, who's made a solid debut tonight at right back with a throw. Mane. Nkada. Good running again from Montero. Great ball across. Oh! That was better missed. How on earth has that stayed out from Beto? He's probably asking the same question by the look on his face. That was a glorious opportunity for Guinea-Bissau to level. Montero's ball across, and Beto seemed to just have the simplest of jobs to roll it into an empty net from a yard. And somehow he's missed. Well, the substitute played it across brilliantly, and he's completely missed it. Probably went with the wrong foot, in fairness. What a miss. Goodness me. Well, I'm sure if he did that in the Premier League, you'd be seeing that time and time again. He can't believe it. The simplest chance he'll have, possibly this season. And somehow, it's not gone in. What a chance for the equaliser, right on the stroke of full time. Well, there's the reaction from those Guinea-Bissau VIPs in the stand. Will they get another chance? They certainly won't get one as good as that. Dear, oh dear. Four minutes added time. Guinea-Bissau's slim hopes of finishing in second are slipping away here in Rwanda. But Ethiopia look as though they are going to possibly get a morale-boosting 3 points, and well, as we say, they could finish above Guinea-Bissau if they win their final game. Too close to the goalkeeper, who pushes that into the ground. Beto was closing in on it. Well, there is the table. Ethiopia going on to 9 points, just a point behind Guinea-Bissau. Egypt, Burkina Faso, Sierra Leone in the pole position for those qualifying places. Ethiopia could feasibly finish above Guinea-Bissau, having been behind them for the whole of the group stage. Hussein, it could have been a different story had he made it too as well. Hussein. Now here come Guinea-Bissau. Good defending again by James, the goal scorer, and solid at the back tonight alongside Rashid. But still a couple more minutes to go. Enkada skips the challenge, still going. That's too far ahead of Rodriguez, and easy for James to allow to run behind. Getahun just berating his midfielders at the moment, the goalkeeper. Well, they're getting ready to celebrate. 24th of March, they beat Djibouti by 6-1. Their only win in the group so far. Another one. He's coming closer. Rodriguez. He's the danger man. Well, that's a high arm from Tut, the man on his debut. Well, Rodriguez was gone. Wancha Tut has got across him, used the arm. Has been sent, or was sent off twice in the Ethiopian season last season. Got sent off on the opening day and got a 4-match suspension. Came back for 2 matches and then got sent off again and was banned for another 3 games. So he has had a few disciplinary problems. But he has to go back and regroup himself now and get on defensive duty for this free kick, which will be taken by Gomez. Similar position to the one that Ethiopia scored. It's an Ethiopian player that sends it behind for the corner. Just throwing bodies on the line at the moment, the home team. They've got a corner to defend. We're inside the final minute of added time. Ethiopia 1, Guinea-Bissau 0. And Haga with the corner. Last chance maybe. Was all the way across, finds Mane. Another good block. Enkada can't get there. Now the brake's on. Goalkeeper had come a long way out, Balde, and racing back. And the referee is given the free kick Guinea-Bissau's way. Has he pulled it back for a free kick the other way? Nkada was the man that was back on defensive duty. Well, it is a foul. Gezahegen is down. Well, he was subbed off in the last 2 international matches, Wegene Gezahegen, but it looks like he's going to play the 90 here. There was the challenge. Referee tried to play the advantage. There was no advantage in the end, though. Hussein. Well, we've played the 4 minutes added time. It's a question of how much the referee will add on. You feel Guinea-Bissau have just got to get this as long as they can. Referee has his whistle in mouth, and there goes the whistle. And it's a big, big win for Ethiopia. It doesn't mean much in the grand context, but after the campaign that they've had and failing to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations, they get a victory here against Guinea-Bissau, which effectively ends their hopes of sneaking into second place in the group. A single goal did it in the first half. A brilliant free kick from Youssef and a flick header from Renkel James to get his first international goal on what was his 9th appearance to give his side the 3 points. It moves them to within a point of Guinea-Bissau, and if they can win their final game, there's a possibility they could finish above tonight's opponents. Not to be for Guinea-Bissau. It was always a tall ask. They knew they had to rely on things elsewhere to help them into second place.